The Enoch Burke case was back in the High Court today, and the judge on this occasion, as usual, had some very interesting things to say, including raising the question of sequestering the car that's used to bear Enoch Burke into the school, Wilson's Hospital School. So let's have a look at that. And the reporting here is from the Irish Times. The reporting in this case is from the Irish Times. Gardaí will not arrest Enoch Burke despite his continuing trespass on Wilson's Hospital School unless he engages in threatening behaviour towards a security man whose efforts to prevent him getting on the property has so far been unsuccessful, the High Court was told today, Wednesday the 22nd of October. Mr. Justice Brian Cregan was the High Court judge. He said that he would consider next week sequestering a car used by Mr. Burke or members of his family, which also got onto the County Westmeath School's grounds. He would also consider whether contempt of court proceedings can also be brought against members of the family who get on to the grounds. The case by the school against Mr. Burke was back again today before the judge to consider whether an order should be made to have him arrested and brought before the court to explain why he should not be jailed for continuing contempt of court, not to trespass on the property. Mr. Burke did not attend court. His brother Isaac, accompanied by his father Sean, attended to say Enoch was not in court because he was, quote, at his place of work. Isaac Burke said Enoch had not done anything wrong, but would not use a certain pronoun to address a young child, a pupil in the school. Isaac was warned repeatedly he did not have a right of audience in the court as he was not a party, but his brother did. In other words, Enoch Burke did have a right because he's the one of the parties in the proceedings. Isaac Burke is not a solicitor, he's not a barrister, and therefore he does not have a right of audience. He was told this last week as well. After repeatedly trying to make contributions, the judge rose for 5 minutes and Isaac Burke agreed to be escorted out of the courtroom by Gardaí. When the judge returned, Sean Burke, then Enoch Burke's father, tried to intervene, but he was warned in a similar manner by the judge that he would be removed. He left voluntarily shortly afterwards. The Enoch Burke case started 3 years ago after, as a teacher in Wilson's Hospital School, he refused the then principal's instructions to teachers to refer to a transgender student by the they-them pronouns and a new name. Mr. Burke subsequently spent more than 500 days in prison for repeated contempt of court orders not to trespass on the school. The court has heard security was employed by the school on Monday, October the 13th, to try to prevent him getting onto the premises. He was driven through in a car onto the grounds despite the security man's efforts to prevent it. As a result of a video of foreign national security staff member trying to deal with Mr. Burke being posted online, racist comments were posted underneath. Barrister for the school, Rosemary Mallon BL, told the court that security firm has warned that this may present difficulties in trying to provide personnel to attend the school. Last week, counsel said a Caucasian security man replaced the foreign national, but Mr. Burke still managed to get onto the grounds in breach of the court order. Affidavits from the school principal, Noel Cunningham, and the Board of Management chair, Christopher Woods, outlining efforts to prevent Mr. Burke getting onto the grounds were read to court. It heard Gardaí, who arrived on October the 15th, told the principal they were uncomfortable arresting Mr. Burke as they were not sure if he was trespassing and he had not committed a crime. They said they would have to talk to their superiors. Later, one of the attending officers rang back and said the Director of Public Prosecutions could not bring a prosecution unless a second offence of threatening or abusive behaviour occurred. The Gardaí also said the security guard should not voluntarily engage physically with Mr. Burke. So that was the advice from the Garda to the security guard. The court heard that Mr. Burke had sworn an affidavit in reply to the school's affidavits and said the security reports were incorrect in relation to him and he was not driving the car on the day claimed. Ms. Mallon also told the court a disciplinary appeals panel, which will hear Mr. Burke's appeal against his dismissal, has now been given the November 8th as the date for the hearing. There may, however, be a challenge by Mr. Burke to the composition of that appeals panel, the court heard. He successfully challenged a previously appointed panel after claiming one of its members, Kieran Christie, an ASTI secretary or general secretary, was a supporter of transgenderism. And the Court of Appeal agreed with Mr. Burke that there might be the perception of bias, and therefore upheld his appeal to Mr. Christie being on this appeal panel. Apparently the representative replacement put forward by ASTI, the trade union, is also the subject of an objection by Mr. Burke, so that may well delay the appeal, even though the date for his appeal to his dismissal is set as the 8th of November. The judge said that the November appeals hearing should go ahead and hopefully this agony can end. The judge also said he would entertain an application that the school receive money from the court-ordered retention of Mr. Burke's salary and orders over his bank account to pay daily fines, totaling more than €225,000 for his continuing breach of orders. The judge also said he had seen footage on RTE News of the security guard's interaction with Mr. Burke, and the judge was of the view that the guard behaved impeccably despite the actions of Mr. Burke. The case was adjourned to next week, so it'll be back in again next week. It's interesting that the judge described this as agony, and also raising the question of sequestering the car that's used to bring Enoch Burke onto the school premises in breach of the court order, and also the question of raising the question of anybody aiding and abetting Mr. Burke with perhaps a contempt of court. He's going to look at that or entertain that. So that is the latest position. As I say, it's back in court again next week. Hope you find the video useful. If you do, I'd appreciate if you hit the old thumbs up button down below. Thanks very much.